Hi, this is Health Powered Productivity by RaderCo. We're revitalizing productivity and banishing burnout through practical, tailored tools, healthy, sustainable habits, and coaching accountability. Declutter your mind, body, and life, one habit at a time. I'm your productivity lead, Marcey Rader, with your next bite-sized nugget of knowledge. This is the first guest episode of the Health Powered Productivity podcast, and we have Jeremy Torisk. I met Jeremy at an NSA, National Speakers Association, North Carolina's event, and what I learned about him fascinated me. And I only hope I get more Jeremy time in the future. Listen in for this 10-minute episode on how he gained 50 pounds in his adult life and was able to lose it and keep it off.
Good day, everybody. My name is Jeremy Torisk, and I'm so thankful to be here today talking to you about a healthy, powered productivity lifestyle and the differences it's made in my life, coming to grips with something that really haunted me and snuck up on me in my 30s and 40s, and that is weight gain. As a 70s kid, I spent most of the time outside running around, riding bikes, jumping off rooftops and tree swings into lakes. Always active, always in very good shape naturally. But in my 20s, I became a lineman eventually, working in the telecommunication construction industry, as I have for 30 years since the age of 20. And that's very exhaustive, hot work in South Florida, climbing poles and ladders all day long. On top of that, I became a competitive martial artist. And so I was working in the sun all day, and each night I was in the dojo working, doing calisthenics and exerting a lot of energy. So in my 20s, I was in the best shape of my life, 235 pounds and full of energy and muscle, and just nothing could go wrong until I got promoted into management in my 30s. And my sons came along, so there went my martial art time. So I became a sedative person, sitting behind desks and sitting in trucks, pickup trucks, driving around looking at crews instead of actually climbing the poles. So through my 30s, I gained probably about 20 pounds. I went from 235 to 255. And I have a big frame. I'm 6'1", didn't really see the difference. Felt the difference, definitely felt the difference. Was lethargic, didn't care as much, had some memory loss. It's hard to, had to take a lot of notes. Just those kind of things stuck out to me. But I could play with my kids. I was very active still, still in South Florida, but it was a different type of energy. Fast forward to now, I'm in my 40s, and now I am flying to different states 45 weeks a year for 10 years, from 40 to 50 years old. And that's when the real weight packed on, because I started through my 30s into my 40s, really transitioning to something that was stress eating. I didn't even realize that that's how I was dealing with all the stress. Every phone call I got from being on the road and taking those calls and getting the pressure, I would dip into McDonald's, grab a cheeseburger and a shake. A couple hours later, another phone call, another problem, another state that I couldn't be hands-on to fix because that wasn't my job anymore. I was a decentralized manager. So I would dip into Taco Bell and grab 3 tacos and a burrito. And then 2 hours later, another call would come in, another problem. I hit Wendy's, grab a Frosty and a Dave's Double. And before you knew it, I was 285 pounds. I had gained 50 pounds in 20 years and was doing very little to change that. The trajectory was definitely off the charts. And along with it, my energy was gone. My memory was trashed. My mood was horrible. I was grumpy, walking through airports, just sweating, carrying my suitcases from rental car to the airplane seat, and then not fitting in that seat. And having, if a person next to me was even 5 pounds overweight, the clash of the armrest, right? Because you just are so uncomfortable. So something happened though in 2017, about 4 years ago. My wife took me to a Tony Robbins Business Mastery, and it changed my life. And I give a lot of credit to Tony for changing a lot of things in my life. But as it comes to weight loss, that's not what Tony didn't do it. It was just Tony's system of having such long days from 7 a.m. to 1 a.m. for 4 days in a row, having energy in that room every 10 minutes, got you on your feet, dancing and jumping up and massaging each other. And, he's engaging and you're totally occupied for 12 hours straight. And then he gives you a break at 9 o'clock, right at night, just like, hey, go get something to eat, come back. You're like, what? What do you mean come back? It's 9 o'clock at night. We've been doing this since 7 a.m. Yeah, come back. So you run to a little food truck or you go to a restaurant and you grab a piece of fish and you get back and you go to 1 o'clock in the morning and you do it again for 4 days. When I got home on the 5th day, to my amazement, I had lost 12 pounds and I was totally dumbfounded. I had no idea how I did it. My wife looked at me and said, really? You don't know how you did it? You drink 10 Mountain Dews a day and eat 5 cheeseburgers and 3 milkshakes. And for the past 4 days, you've eaten a piece of fish and a couple power bars and coffee for 15 hours a day. You want to reassess the difference? Shall we look at the differences, the contrast of actually getting up every hour and dancing for 10 minutes and not eating all that crap for 4 or 5 days? And I was like, wow, the light came on. As destiny has it for our lives, if you're lucky like me, things pop up. And that day I got home, I was watching Joe Rogan's podcast and Dr. Rhonda Patrick was on. And then after her, another guy named Dr. Peter Attia, Attia. I found him on Joe's show. They both were talking about intermittent fasting. I had never heard of it before, intermittent fasting. I've heard of fasting, don't eat for a day. But this was a lifestyle they're talking about. Not eating for 16 hours straight, 18 hours straight, 20 hours straight, eating once a day, making smart choices. And they said that the first 5 days were the toughest. Well, I had just gotten through the first 5 days and didn't even realize it. And I'd lost 12 pounds and I saw the results. I am a results-based person. That's how I get my value, by looking at results. I already had those results. I was very lucky in that way. However, I would not go back to doing the same thing I did before. And so I was committed to sticking with eating once a day. Now, let's do the math. I know you're saying, Jeremy, 16 hours is crazy. So I'm going to break it down to you real easy. Stop eating at 8 p.m. Eat a normal day, because at 8 p.m. you're going to start your intermittent fast. That's the first day of the rest of your life, at 8 p.m. tonight. You're going to go to sleep at 11 p.m. Can you go 3 hours without putting something in your mouth? Try it. I know it's hard. Believe me, I need to eat at night. That's how I deal with stress. At least I used to. But don't eat for 3 hours. Go to sleep, 11 p.m. Wake up at 6 like you normally do. You just went 10 hours without eating. That's a fast. Breakfast means break your fast. You're eating in the morning after sleeping, okay? You don't want to break that fast right there. You just went 10 hours. Let's go to noon. Try not to eat until noon. Now, can you consume? Yes, you can consume. Consume water. Consume black coffee. Ooh, black coffee, it's bitter. So what? If you're overweight and you're miserable, embrace the suck, as Jocko Willink says. Drink some black coffee, drink a lot of water for 6 hours. Get to noon. Now, here's the payoff. From noon until 8 p.m., you can eat 2 meals. And I'm going to tell you, just slide into this thing. Eat your regular meals. Eat some steak, eat some potatoes, eat some bread, eat some vegetables. Because you're going to be eating less, you're going to do that, eat less. Now, I was all in. I just ate chicken and vegetables for my 2 meals. And I kept losing a pound a day. So if you want to be committed like me, come on, let's do this. I'll help you. Eat twice a day. At noon and at 6 p.m., eat chicken and broccoli. Eat a piece of steak and some kale. All right. Eat some Brussels sprouts. Things that are good tasting, but also good for you. And then at 8 o'clock, eat a little power bar if you need to stay up and do some work, or eat some granola or some pistachio nuts. But at 8 o'clock, shut it down. Repeat. Do that for a week. I promise you'll see the difference. I took it to a little bit further. I went to 20 hours. It wasn't that hard because I had done it so long. 50 pounds in 5 months by doing this. The difference was amazing. My energy came back. I felt like I was in my 20s again at 48 years old. I was able to remember things. I was able to bop through the airport without drenching my shirt in sweat. I would be happier, dealing with pressure better. Also, during the day, try dancing every 10 minutes for an hour. Every hour, set your time. You know, you got those Apple Watch tell you move, breathe, all that stuff. Put a song on and dance. Put one song on and dance for 3 minutes. It's gonna make a difference cumulatively through the day. If you dance for 3 minutes a day for an hour during your working hours, shut the door, dance, or keep it open like I do. Make a show of it. All right, get the whole office involved. You start inspiring others with your results. You start being more motivated. You got clarity. Your taste buds change. You don't even like sugar anymore. It's a beautiful, beautiful transition. I welcome you to try it. I welcome you to go to my website, jeremytorisk.com, click on my virtual coffee, click on my Calendly, set 15 minutes with me. I'll talk you through it. I am not a doctor. I'm a construction guy. Remember, my last name is spelt Torisk, and my blood type is B positive. So how could I go wrong? I hope you have gotten something out of this. I sure have. Thank you for letting me share with you. Thank you, Marcey. Thank you, RaderCo. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.
Thanks, Jeremy. And how is intermittent fasting health-powered productivity? Well, the obvious is less time eating, fewer meals to prepare, and fewer choices to make. The health benefits from intermittent fasting have been shown in multiple research studies. However, the data is not as good for women as for men. They have not done as many research studies on women as for men. And it is different between premenopausal and postmenopausal women. For men, most of the data shows intermittent fasting is the way to go. And there are multiple ways to do it. The way Jeremy does it is very popular. There's also eating within a certain time window. And for me, the way I use intermittent fasting is I do fasted workouts. I have been postmenopausal since I was 36. Not a good thing to have or to be, but that's when I went into menopause. And so I wake up in the morning and do my workout fasted. And that is how I get the benefits from intermittent fasting. And as Jeremy says, enjoy the suck, because at first it did suck until my body became more fat adapted and I was able to work out. Now I can do actually a hard hit workout even and do it on nothing but water. I also love the movement opportunity. Jeremy, I also take dance breaks as well. And my favorite song is Robert Randolph and the Family Band. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And it used to even be my transition song. And lastly, the way Jeremy talks about, sugary coffee to, learning to love the bitter. I did that too. I started out with just asking for one less pump in all of my mocha frappuccinos. And now I don't even buy mocha frappuccinos. So Jeremy, we didn't even plan for what you were going to say. And I am so on board, and hearing you tell your story is very inspiring and full of energy. And I just want to say congratulations.